Let me know when you're on it, baby. Are you on it? You are on it? Alright. Love you. Live most I win. Alrighty, gamers, let's get into it. Question, why do I already have a comment, baby? Yes? Alright, and it is time for the investigation. Let's start off here. Hammers of different sizes, although some are more like mallets. Could the Justice Hammers have been designed using these as a model? Why are there 2 people watching my stream? Either way, all of the hammers here have obviously seen a lot of use. They're all covered in debris and chalky stone powder. Wait. For some reason, this hammer isn't dirty at all, and it's wet. Did somebody wash it recently? Spotless hammer. There are many aspects of the incident this time, too many to be honest. Maybe good look back on everything. Yeah. Only 4 of us met up at the dining hall. Hina, Kyoko, you, and myself. We waited for others, but nobody showed up, so we decided to go look for them. It was around 8 o'clock when we began our search. As soon as after we split up, Kyoko disappeared. After that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room on the 3rd floor, then quickly came and got you and me. According to Celeste, she was attacked by a suspicious individual and lay unconscious for about an hour. In other words, she was attacked an hour before we found her. Just after 7. Based on the picture Celeste took, we discovered her attacker was dressed in a strange costume. It was Robo Justice. It also became clear that Robo Justice had dragged Hifumi away. After meeting up with Toko and Byakuya, we began searching for the costumed assailant. We found injured Hifumi in the library on the 2nd floor. We took him down to the nurse's office, and on the 1st floor we resumed our search. But not long after leaving the nurse's office... What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around the top of the stairs. Based on Celeste's claims, we went back up to the 2nd floor where we split up and began searching. Then right after that, Celeste screamed. This time she had apparently seen the suspect on the 3rd floor. Hearing her screams, we quickly made our way to the 3rd floor. Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so we headed further down to the hallway and disappeared. Then... Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back. At that point, we decided to split up into 2 groups. Celestina and I went back to the nurse's office. Meanwhile, you, Byakuya, and Toko pursued the suspect on the 3rd floor. And when we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi's corpse, which is also when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina alone and headed back to the 3rd floor to tell the others what happened.
However...
But at the same time, we had discovered Taka's body in the equipment room, which means Hifumi and Taka's body were discovered right around the same time, because I remember hearing the body discovery and... What? Because I remember hearing the body discovery announcements play right after finding Taka. And that's when I showed up and told you and Byakuya that Hifumi had been killed, right? Then Yumi and Byakuya had all headed back to the nurse's office, leaving behind Toko, who had fainted. As soon as we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who had just arrived to tell us something very unusual. Hifumi's body had disappeared. We had hurried back into the nurse's office to discover that his corpse was in fact gone. Then he remembered that we had abandoned the unconscious Toko and rushed back to the equipment room. This time Taka's body had disappeared, so from there we began our search for both of the missing bodies. After some time, Celeste told us that she found the bodies and we all headed to her repository. Then we rediscovered the 2 bodies that had apparently vanished. Then that brings up to now. Looking back, things have certainly been active. If you want to look back at the case again, just let me know. I'm fine anytime. It's about the repository. After Hifumi and Taki's discovery disappeared, we slipped to look around, right? I was really scared to me and Sakura stuck together, and we came right to the repository to look around. But when we got here, it was locked. We couldn't get inside. It was locked. But the search started, so there's no way someone could have beat us here. So if that's true, then who locked it, and why is it under the same thing? He'll never move again. According to the Monokuma fight, he died from a blow to the head. Now, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but last night when we found Taka's body, his face was turned to the other side. And when we found him now, his head is now turned to that side. So I'm wondering if just because he was like moved here, if that's what moved his head, or if Taka moved his head by himself. Because I'm wondering if he actually wasn't dead when they first found him. He was just unconscious. And then he realized he wasn't gonna live, and then he turned his head around. And if you also notice that when we first found the bodies, like when it like zoomed in on him, Taka was actually smiling. So I'm wondering if he like came to peace with the fact that he died. I don't know. It's just my little conspiracy theory. There wouldn't be any bloodlines. He's talking about the tarp right now. What? I'm just telling you what I think. Hifumi's big cool body's laying on the floor. His really big body. How on earth was the killer able to move someone so big? Nurse's office to the repository without anybody noticing. How in the hell? It's no good, I just don't get it. I can't think about it later, for now I have to finish. Blow to the head, probably from just his hammer. Wait, something's off about his body. Why am I getting this feeling? Something's different. That's it, his glasses. His body was in the nurse's office. His glasses were covered with blood. But now they're completely clean. Does that mean somebody wiped his glasses off? But who would do that and why? From his glasses. A dolly doesn't have a handle. Wasn't this in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? And look at the wheel. There's a blood stain on it. So there's blood on the wheel of the dolly that was moved from the equipment room to the repository. What's the explanation? It can only be locked from the inside. Oops, my bad. I'm sorry. What? Do you think Hiro really did it? I don't see how anyone could think otherwise. When the attackers and murders all disappearances, every one of us had an alibi. And the last thing Hifumi said was Hiro's name. There's no room to suspect anybody else. Why would he hide his identity with a weird costume? Maybe he thought that no matter what happened, he'd be safe as long as his face was covered. But that he's a fool of the century, you see. I mean, he is kind of dumb, but do you really think that's enough to explain it? I feel like there's a clue hiding in there somewhere. Like, why did the killer try to hide the bodies?
What? I see. That's enough.
What's with the attitude? Okay. Let's go to the nurse's office. Waddy! Yes, Padre. No. Okay, yeah. You wonder what? Yeah, they came home with groceries. Bitch, you're out. Stupid bitch. Yeah, what a fucking retard. Okay, good luck. I'll leave my door open. Yep, love you. Dude, Katie's a different breed of fucking retard. Dad told her not to spend any money today because he has to buy something for Kinsley for Christmas. But guess what Katie did today? She went out and spent shitloads of money. And now Dad has to go to the bank and put money in the account.
Let's see. Yes, indeed.
So we're not gonna worry about the blood splatter. We're just gonna... A glasses cleaning cloth.
Oh. Huh?
Alright, now let's go up to the, let's go to the 3rd floor and check out where Taka died. Are you disappointed that Taka died? Oh. Apparently I'm going the wrong way. Thought he was next. Oh, I'm on the 2nd floor. How did I not realize that? I was like, yo, where's the fucking physics lab? It's because my retarded ass is... What? What? That is fantastic. Wait, what was I doing? Shit, I forgot which way I came through. I forgot which way I came from. Let's go this way. Yep, I'm going the right way. I feel like I've seen this tarp somewhere. Whoa, I wonder where. Taka's body would move from the equipment room using the dolly. This is where you are. I was looking for you. You have. I wanted to thank you for what you did. Not that you meant to, but you ended up making this little game of ours very interesting. You should go to Hero's room and let me give you this. Meet in the dining hall. This is a hero. This note Hero wrote to get us all to meet up. You remember well. The penmanship was pretty remarkable, so it left an impression.
All clear now.
Anyway, this makes it clear. This is a trap. Things grow ever more exciting. What are you talking about? I've already repaid my debt, but I don't owe you any more explanation. My question is, why was Hero's room unlocked? Oh wait, I forgot. After all of the, after there's been a murder, every single room is unlocked. Oh, speaking of Hero, that reminds me, I need to go to the, yeah. Which reminds me, after this, I think I need to go to the pool or the gym. I cannot remember. Wait, where am I? This way. Why am I going all the way down the stairs? I could just use my thingy. Which does remind me, I do need to go to the pool here. In a second. I think he's in the pool? I could be wrong though. I don't remember which. Celeste. Asahina. Yasuhiro. The door is unlocked. I guess I can go inside. I wonder what's gonna be in his room. They all have cool stuff in their room except Makoto. See, even he has cool stuff in his room. That's not weird stuff, it's cool stuff. I wish I had all this stuff in his room. Okay, now, big news, what's wrong? We found Kyoko. Is she okay? Where is she? There's more big news. Robo Justice showed up too.
Okay.
Hero wearing the costume. Yep, I knew it was the pool. I wanted to go to the pool. Rawr.
I mean...
Phew, man, I've had the worst day. Hero? Hero?
Oh, hey,
Yeah, duh, who else would I be? That's a good question. Why do I look like this? What, did someone come along and remodel me while I was sleeping? What is the Illuminated? Did the Illuminati come along and remodel me in my sleep?
Right.
Found Hero. He was jammed in the pool room locker. Looked like he was fast asleep, so I kicked him and he woke up. I can't believe you kicked me. You could have been a little bit more gentle about it. I don't like caress my face or something. That's creepy. Kyoko, where have you been? You just disappeared all of a sudden without a trace. There was something I had to check up on. What do you mean? Never mind. I can't never mind. Never mind. More importantly, she says that, but does she have any idea? Does she know people might be people think that she might be spying for the mastermind? Hero, you need to explain why you're dressed like that. Well, I mean, I have no idea. That 1 second I was asleep, and I don't even know how it happened. Then I woke up and I was here. I don't care. Do something about that costume. It pains me just to look at you. Well, I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help. Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid freaking thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. Ooh, free at last. Isn't it kind of weird how perfectly the suit fits Hero?
So then,
More to the point, nobody but Hero will be able to wear that costume. Hold on a sec.
honestly.
Don't bother trying to act as if the blueprints were in your room as well.
Okay.
In other words, it's obvious to everyone that you made this costume. That's true, I saw the blueprints myself. Yeah, me
Could
too.
it be?
Then it's obvious when he put this costume on and went around attacking everybody. It was Hero. Shall we tie him up and gag him?
The worst.
Good idea, we wouldn't want him killing anyone else. Tie me up. Hold on, guys. I think that's going a little
That's
far.
right.
He may be a suspect, but he deserves fair treatment. Yeah, I mean, attacking blueprints, I have no idea what you're talking about. You can't talk your way out of this. It's been decided you killed them. Or killed who? I have no idea what you're talking about. There must be a fake Hero running around.
Insane.
Who else could have been like costume attacker? How do you know I'm the one? Maybe you should try it on for yourself. Fine, if you're gonna be a jerk about it, I will.
Huh.
See? Look how loose it
See
is.
how loose it is?
Oh, my bad. So
I
sorry.
mean, come on. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me.
And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's not a very nice thing to say. I mean, it's not like I made it. I just got caught up in the moment.
Well, either way, now we know for sure, right? I mean, it seems pretty clear that nobody but Hero could have fit into this dumb costume. Ah.
Now you're all out of excuses. You're a girl. If it was another guy, then Makoto, go ahead. It's no good. The arms are too long. There's no way I can wear this.
But
Then there's another costume. They must have one that looks the same, but it fits them.
Honestly.
If you insist on this line of defense, then show us some evidence. You claim there's another suit, yes, and you must find it and show it to us. What the heck?
Just the worst.
Who cares? Hero's the only one without an alibi during this whole thing.
Terrible.
Which is how we know it was him. Is that really true? I have no idea what's been happening. Could someone, like, tell me? Looking more and more like it was really a setup.
Oh.
I certainly did not expect Hiro to Kyoko and turn up at the same time. But where has Kyoko been hiding this whole time? Perhaps she's working for the mastermind. What else would explain her questionable behavior? But you are quite protective of her, yes? Because she helped me out so much it took until now. If I were the mastermind, this is exactly what I would do to earn your trust.
What the heck?
You did it, everybody knows it. She looks like she's lost in thought. I don't think she's in the mood to talk.
what the heck?
If you don't mind telling me what's going on, how am I supposed to understand? I think you figured that out, that someone's been killed, right? Makoto, who was it? Well, 2 people were killed, Taka and Hifumi. What? 2
Just the
people?
worst.
Why are you freaking out? You did it. I did not. Wait, hold on. If those 2 were the ones that were killed, that's it. I know who did it. You may as well tell us then. Taka and Hifumi were fighting over alter ego, right? Which means alter ego and or Chihiro must have done it.
Correct.
I see. That's unfortunate.
Please.
Unfortunate.
What the heck?
Stop trying to trick us. Just admit that you did it, okay?
I'm
I'm telling you, you got it all wrong.
So
I know that note. No?
Um,
Last night someone slipped a weird note under my door, and here's what it said. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m. Last thing I remember is going to the rec room, then for some reason I fell asleep. The real killer probably drugged me or something.
The worst.
Not a chance. Now hold on, he could be onto something. The nurse's office did have chemicals. What, really? I told you, someone's trying to set me up. Secret passage is your chance to escape. Someone wrote that all to trick me. Even if that's true, you might be the dumb one. Even if that's true, you must be one dumb fish to bite at every piece of bait that floats in front of you. Well, after being trapped here for so long, even if you know it's a lie, you still gotta check, right? They preyed on my desire to get out of here. They deceived me. I still don't buy it.
Don't be mean.
Well, you should buy it.
Just a second.
Okay, then show us the note. With pleasure. I have it right here in my pocket.
No way.
Looks like I lost it. Yeah, I'm sure. Please, you gotta believe me. It wouldn't hurt to fly. As I said before, if you want us to believe you, you must produce evidence. Can you show us the note? I have no particular issue with what you claim, but if you want us to believe you, give us a reason. What the heck, for serious? Shall I resume our investigation? There's no time to waste before the class trial begins. Why do we need to keep investigating? We know who did it. Why did you kill them? Tell us.
Just
Like
the
I said,
worst.
was it really to get money Monokuma offered us? Yeah, that's it. Yours must be totally broken, that's why. Wait, there's no way Hero is broke because he told Makoto about his glass ball, which costs $1 million and it's cheap for a glass ball. So I know damn well Hero isn't broke. That's a false accusation. Someone help me. Just be thankful we haven't bound and gagged you. If you have time to yell and carry on, you have to search for your evidence. Oh, you're right. I need to look for the second suit in that note. Feet don't fail me now. I guess I better get back to guard duty. Was gonna ask Toko or Genocide Jack to switch with me, but if she and Sakura got into a fight, then we'd have a catastrophe on our hands. Well, bye. Everyone peeled away. Makoto, do you have a second? I want you to help me with the investigation. Looks like I got a late start on this one, so I need to make up some ground. Can you promise me something later when we have time? Will you tell me why you disappeared? No.
Anyway,
I need your help. You don't mind, do you? Okay.
shall we go? Hey,
I'd like to examine the carpet of corpses.
correct. Hey. Anyway.
I'm like I'm like hitting every fucking wall. Fuck, I don't know this place.
So then, I knew it.
Oh, right, I have to talk to her. Maybe I don't want to talk to her. Fuck!
I see.
I found something. The wristwatch.
Whew.
You're so oblivious to people around you. Do you just like those people that much? It's not that. So you said you had a
So
watch?
then-
Take a look. It's broken. You can see the hands aren't moving. It most likely broke when his hands encountered with his assailant. If you notice, the hands are frozen just past 6, so that would mean the watch was
That's right.
broken sometime last night.
In other words,
It could have been broken at 6, which means that it must have happened at 6 this morning.
however,
Look at Taka's left hand. He's gripping a
Makoto.
piece of paper.
because hey,
A scrap of paper.
is that right? So then,
Let's check Ifumi's body. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I have to redo this entire thing.
indeed,
Look at this, a wad of
That's
paper. Fumi had it hidden on him.
indeed.
He stuffed it in his pants, so I can only assume he hid it on purpose.
Why is that?
It was just in his pants, not like his socks or something. I don't know what that means.
Hey,
Anyway, let's take a look at the paper. Go ahead and try to open it up. When I think of how it was stuffed it down his pants, it's like, better be important, Hifumi, or I'll never forgive you for this. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out. Da 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 da.
so, however, is that right? So, hey, Hey,
So Taka was clutching a scrap of paper, so Hifumi tried ripping it out, so that's the note to
slow
Taka.
down. Hey. Is that right?
Bing bong.
Are you excited? Are you pumped? It's time like the bright and so everyone make your
Alright, let's do this.
Monokuma appears! Wrong. Boy, tough crowd.
Stop talking.
Okay. Hey!
Let's go.
Please!
What the heck?
What the heck?
Hey,
That's right.
Good idea, that's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever kill it. Let's just get this started. Right, Jax? I just want to get this started. Lebu. Lebu. Let's get this party started right now. Isn't it like scary how there's always like less and less people? My good boy. And like I just said, Monokuma's like, I just realized how few of you there are left.
What?
Okay!
Come on.
Yahoo!
Yahoo! Alright. Trial 3, baby.
Let's begin with a basic if you can I am now. We already know. Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know! I don't know! I don't know!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Oh, I have to shoot it at the blueprints.
Everything we found in your room, the blueprints, the suit parts, they
The fucking little thing was almost like, hell no, bitch.
we sure Hero...
The thing that bothered me is that at the beginning it says now some pieces of evidence that the person like presents can be weak, but that doesn't mean you shoot at it. It has to be completely false. But the blueprints were found in Hero's room, so whatever.
Really?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro is innocent as well.
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Say?
It was Hero.
Other than Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular...
Then there can be no doubt.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify.
Hey, stop!
All things.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
I got it! I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right? So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly.
Wait, can I rewind? Shit. Baby. I want you to go back to when we found Taka's body, and I'll show you the way Taka's head was. What? No, a few. You showed Taka's body in the dolly. Alright. My bad.
Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the doll.
And now look, his head's back to the other side.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
I'm guessing it's square to reload. Haha! Squares always reload. That should be easy to remember. The moment already?
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable.
I'm shooting!
I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are
Yes,
a fool.
father.
So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere.
No.
Do your worst. Away with you.
No.
You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
What?
She spent $24 at Taco Bell also.
Katie did? And you bitched her out, right?
And she hasn't responded. She's at work. She hasn't responded to me yet.
Well, you warned her. So she spent over $80.
Oh no, she spent $130 at Walmart. She spent 24 something at Taco Bell. She spent another $4 at
Oh, they said 60 at
Dollar Tree. No, she spent $130 something at Walmart today. After I told her not to.
Yeah, you literally told her not to. Did she just ignore you or did she just forget?
She said that she looked at our bills when they're due, looked at our account, and she wasn't getting that much.
Who gives a shit? You asked her not to.
She said there was plenty in there for what she needed. She spent,
Oh yeah. Just for what she needed. Fuck what you need.
$200 today.
Just for what she needed. Screw what you ask.
Yeah. Do you realize that there was... Okay, so if these 4 things came out, this is overdraft, okay? If you ever overdraft your account, it's each item they charge you $30 or $29 for each item you overdraft. So I just put 50 in there, so there's 71 in there now. So that's the thing. If you get down to the end and you have more pending than you have in your account,
Yeah.
each one, when they're done pending and they actually go to your account, once they actually register. So pending means obviously they're
Yeah, I have the same app. I did it too. I have.
registered yet. So that would have been 20. If I wouldn't have put that money in, we only had $20 in there. If I wouldn't have put that money in, each one of these would have been an additional $29. So 4 times 29.
Yeah, I haven't had that problem, so I wouldn't know, but that's scary.
So that would have been the cost cost of these, which would have been what? Over $50.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So plus 16, 20, so 116.
Mhm.
So $50 plus 116 is what we would have been negative.
But yeah, who gives a shit? Like, it doesn't matter if what she thinks you specifically asked her not to. So.
No, I know.
And it's for her kid.
She was pissed when I told her not to go shopping.
Nuh-uh.
I had to buy that mat for Kinsley because it was gonna.
We have stuff right now. Why does she go shopping at the stupidest times? And why does she buy pointless shit? She just wastes money on things that we don't need.
Idiot. There's been something wrong with her lately. I don't.
God. I wonder if it's that stupid little friend of hers.
Probably, but still, it's like.
Don't do that. That's stupid.
Yeah, she hasn't responded to me. I texted her before I left. The screenshot of the bathroom and everything.
I bet she's gonna get an attitude.
You spent $24 at Taco Bell. I spent $3.30.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. Like.
If I go to Taco Bell, I spend $3.30 because I get 3 of those things.
Yeah.
Last night too, I was talking at Taco Bell. You give me a couple things. Yeah. What do you want? She wanted this grilled cheese burrito.
Okay.
Which was $4.
A burrito.
And 2 cheese roll-ups.
2 cheese roll-ups.
So it ended up being like 8 something. Mine was $3.30.
She must have bought something for a friend too.
But so she had to have. But how do you spend $24 at Taco Bell? Can you believe it?
Yeah, seriously, that's $12 per meal.
So I get her that big grilled cheese burrito.
Yeah.
She goes, tell them no beef, add refried beans. So swap them.
Yeah.
Which that's expensive to do. They don't take off the cost of the beef and they add.
See, I also think that's stupid how, like, if you'll, like, have it plain, yeah, if you want to do anything like that, yes.
Yeah.
Or if you get it plain, I feel like you should get.
Nope, they still charge you for the beef and then they add on the cost.
Yeah, I know.
So that ended up being like a fine.
I get in arguments with customers all the time because of it. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't have any control.
Yeah, so it ended up being like a $6 burrito and it should have been close to $4. Okay.
Yeah.
Or $5 burrito when it should have been 3 something.
Yeah.
Get home, she takes 2 bites of it. She goes, that's too spicy. I don't like it.
Nuh-uh.
I said, it's got beans on it. She shoves over to me like I'm gonna eat it. Since it's got refried beans, you have to take the meat off. I don't want that. Fucking, if I wanted a bean burrito, I'd get bean burritos. I don't fucking get those. It's fucking gross.
God, I'd get so mad.
So there's just a waste of $5. 1 bite. I don't like it. Too spicy. I said it's not that spicy.
I'd get so mad. I'd get so pissed.
Oh my god. What is going on in her head?
What was like too Yeah, someone has been funky with her lately.
Yeah, for sure.
I just got those yesterday. I'm still like almost done with my set with my other pack. I get them like a few days in advance.
It's not this.
What is it? Oh yeah, a sticker. They come with like a sticker or
Oh,
it's a face mask. Last time I got fucking lube, so yeah. They come with random shit.
Oh boy.
Yeah, literally.
Give the lube to your gay dude friends.
Yeah, you're damn right. Here, do what you want with this. Just love you. Okay, I'm gonna lose this.
Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You miserable wretch.
Okay, here's can I like restart this? I think I might just die real quick and then restart this because I started this when Dad came in my room.
Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst.
Okay, good. I want to restart this anyways. It's all good. I just because he came in my room while I was doing it.
Is this...
Alright, let's do
I
this.
refuse to give up yet.
Alright, let's do this. Now I can pay attention.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
almost lost that one. I was struggling.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room.
But if they wheeled it through the blood, then why was there only one wheel with blood on it?
And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot?
I'm not sure that...
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Because he can't bend at the waist.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment, and from there,
Yeah, the culprit then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off.
What, you bitch?
Yeah, all you have to... Then you could push
Oh, I missed it. It was bend over. You have to click it and bend over. Okay. I understand, I understand, I understand, I understand.
I realize anything.
I understand, I understand.
As we know, and from there...
Yeah, the then loaded it on...
Now, keep in mind...
Well, yeah. But even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No! You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like
Asahina
that?
said it herself, you can't even bend at the waist.
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
See? And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible! Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Because you can't take it off by yourself. Wrong thing, wrong thing. That's not what I meant, not what I meant, not what I meant. I didn't read the rest of the options. You can't take it off by yourself because there's a clasp on the back.
I got it! I don't
My
think
bad.
taking off the suit...
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then,
You really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
See? Robo Justice. That's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't, instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle?
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together and we waited there for... that was...
And as soon as...
Soon after that...
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him, but not...
When Celeste and soon
I saw someone moving...
And then... At that point, we Celeste while Sakura... When we got back, and that's when we heard the bot... I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the...
Meanwhile, we must have... because we heard the...
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw...
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again. But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and which is where we...
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple...
Okay, well...
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka. So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka, I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was...
We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the number.
It's true that Hifumi, while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's... I wonder if... or perhaps it was...
We already know what order they were killed. Taka
Wrong
came
thing,
last.
my bad.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed, while Taka's death came from...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So,
Regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
Damn it, I don't know.
You say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3,
while Taka's death came...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after. So, regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed, while Taka's death came...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Just watch. Watch. What? Wristwatch.
Now I understand. I got it. See? Look! It broke.
It must have gotten broken when he... So if it wasn't...
And that would be...
But if that's true, then he was...
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe. When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. That's totally true! We're all in the clear!
Oh, I know! They must have...
If that's true...
I don't know.
Don't just go making...
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way, because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, and according to... His body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the 3rd in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was... alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we...
Perhaps
that... it isn't possible.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Maybe?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse, there's a chance he was actually...
No, it is impossible.
Hifumi was dead, and you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
So I fucking.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man.
No, actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice. I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead.
And that's just, there's one other thing that leads me to believe...
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Well, here's one thing we do. The first time we found Hifumi, and then his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
Oh, I didn't know that happened.
His body before being moved, and his body after being moved. Other than the change in how it was positioned.
Shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ah, shit.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, his body
And the next time it was in the...
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, it's wrong! In fact, there was one clear case glass. That fact alone proves that he was...
Perhaps you'd like to...
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth. This piece of cloth was, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one. And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles. from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to...
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wipes the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
And it must have been him.
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive. He pretends to be dead. Then he stands up, and with that, the impossible task of moving...
But then, if you... What was with all that blood?
The fridge in the nurse's office contained...
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious.
I got it! If it only...
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office...
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the... Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto?
The thing is, I don't know if it's the note or if it's the scrap. I think it's the scrap. Oh, then it was the note. Well, I wasn't wrong. Anger.
I got it! You're talking about the note. That's right.
What? Yeah?
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now.
That's the note I was telling. Huh? What? Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell any.
See.
It's not the same.
In other words, the killer got in touch with another, and that person could only have been... I got it! That's right! The killer used this...
Hello? I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy! Just to... Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time? Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Okay.
No, it's wrong!
I almost screwed myself.
No!
What the hell is...
The note said to meet at 6. You've already proven that, but there's more. The equipment room.
Which is where...
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place. I think that should be plenty to show that this note...
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the
Cute
note to
ass.
Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Trying to take it out of his hand.
Most likely. Hifumi.
Where's your proof?
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, if I'm right about it, I knew it! It fits perfectly with...
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip. Leaving behind, did I get all that?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, in fact, he was behind the whole thing!
Sorry. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi, the second body discovered...
So then,
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the...
During that time, we'd all... In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a wall?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah. Because, I mean, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office on equipment. So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously...
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocked...
Hell yeah, it's packed in there.
He's right, though. I don't know. The Monokuma file makes it, but if the hammers were all...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Is it not possible they used...
I don't think it is possible.
So then...
There was a washed off hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
My bad. I didn't mean to do that, honestly. I kind of slipped. I didn't actually mean to hit that one. I'm sorry.
What was used? Was it just maybe Justice?
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody...
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make... Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers. And, that's about it.
Whoopsies. It must be his statement.
What was used to kill? Was it just maybe Justice?
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody...
Sounds like a Justice Hammer. Check out murdergear.com.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice...
Right? Yeah.
No, it's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No,
But, seriously?
specifically, a hammer from the repository. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered, but for some reason, one of them had been...
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely if the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood. Of course... I'd also like to point out that the repository has... and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would have...
So Hifumi moved...
Whoever did that is the true killer. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
The note.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act
I did not mean to.
and survived.
I didn't mean to do that.
Assuming
But
the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together at this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out the act, assuming the
I'm
rule
confused.
holds true, it is simply impossible.
That is how the rule...
But that only really applies in
So-
this case, however, there were two murders.
and then I think I need to shoot it at Celeste's statement.
Based on the rules that have even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive, assuming the rule holds true.
Yes.
No, it's wrong. Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out. There's no point in being someone's However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person, and it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual by creating one seamless set of circumstances.
The mastermind, and then to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice, which, if true, means that betraying...
That's just...
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one?
That's problem numero uno right now!
See, what's kind of annoying is they're making you choose who the murderer is, but the thing is, other than they're completely obvious who it is, there's really no evidence saying that, oh, it's this person who killed it. But since I know who it is, then... But still, other than Celeste being extremely suspicious, there is no evidence about it being specifically Celeste, only because of that one slip-up.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
And even if there is evidence, they made me choose that it was her before they even presented the evidence.
Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
I got it! The behavior they had in common, the only ones who ever actually...
Shush! The adults are talking now.
Damn!
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our... And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor, specifically next to draw us all to the physics.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said? Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely... Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, and on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on... That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our mind.
I don't believe...
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body...
Yeah? Wait!
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that one little
No, what
slip-up
this
was
part
your
really bothers
undoing.
me. He says that she made one fatal mistake, but then he pointed out all those other things. So...
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything or think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have...
Celeste didn't know that Taka died. How stupid do you need to be, dummy?
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this.
enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said
I just don't
was,
understand what the
they
point of
must
saying the
really
monochroma
enjoy
file was.
the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
Exactly. So what? I'm annoyed.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and they must be.
I think.
We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
I think.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I don't know.
All I said was,
Maybe I have to shoot those guys at literally those guys.
the sight of us standing around. They must be.
I'm gonna screw myself.
We are going to die, just like those guys died.
Fuck, I don't know, dude. And I have to restart. I don't know where I have to restart from, but fuck. Let me think.
I refuse to give
How
up.
far do I have to start over? Okay.
All I said was,
So maybe I have to highlight when Byakuya says so strange and then shoot it at those
And
guys.
that's all it takes to finish this. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
So I'm guessing I have to say, I have to highlight so strange and then shoot it at those guys.
we are all going to die. We are going to die, just like those guys.
No, it's wrong. That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some. Celeste put the suit on, and then.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the just. I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that if everything I told simple.
Are we sure?
What could you possibly?
Surely there are other.
No, there is no other explanation.
I got it! It's not a picture of the sun. I would say it's a picture of him.
That's certainly within the realm of. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi. We've simply been led to believe that it's. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Damn.
me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly
No, he's
upright.
not.
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Exactly, bitch. Bitch.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that, because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain...
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying? When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
But my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro.
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
I think it's really funny that she says, I'll burn you alive. You'll see
Kyoko.
here soon.
Think back to how did he refer to each of us?
I got it! That's right! Our last name!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient no. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal, but he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone he...
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What?
I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
Exactly. She hasn't told anyone what her real name is. So why would Hifumi know?
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
Shit.
That's the only truth there is! Moron!
He wanted us to know the killers. If there's one person...
It would have to be you, Celeste.
How many times? Celestia Ludenberg!
How long do you plan?
I'm not pretending. And since you have no way to contradict...
No, it's wrong. That's it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name. Monokuma told us... So all we have to do is, that's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell me?
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again. And that'll bring
I like how these two are still over here. From the second case and from the first. I am not confident about this in the slightest. There's like 3 or 4 of them that I'm not confident. This is one of them.
Someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Never mind.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room.
I'm not this one. I know this one isn't right. Oh, never.
That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. They drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
Damn it! Okay, so first, is it this? Wait, no, didn't I just use that? It's a lie. Don't use this one. I lied. Don't listen to me. So, would it be Justice Hammer 4? But I could have swore they said that Justice Hammer 3 was used to kill Taka, so he was... Oh wait, no. They said it was Justice Hammer 4 because he was killed after. I forgot that they were convinced that he was killed after. I forgot, my bad. My bad. My bad. That was me, I wasn't thinking. This is right now.
And that's where Hifumi killed him. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us
I really hope this was right.
These 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap.
Yeah.
While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
What pretty roses.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin.
Listen to her voice change.
Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please, and when the votes are tapped, will you make the right...
Did you ever guess it was Celeste, or did you, figure it out right at the last second?
Honestly.
I knew it. So then...
Indeed.
Say what?
Just a second. In other words,
Indeed.
I see.
Actually,
What?
are you okay with this? So then...
My concern is she just said that she took it into Taka's room and took pictures of it. So my question is, how does she get into Taka's room when all the doors are locked?
Say what?
As for me...
Oh.
As for me...
What? Damnation! Say what? Completely unforgivable!
Most unfortunate. Actually...
What?
Indeed. Honestly.
I swear!
Actually,
Hmm?
I see.
indeed.
But
Let's see.
Well,
Are you okay?
so in the end,
What the heck? Well,
don't be mean.
I wonder about that.
Why?
What the heck?
But
You little bitch!
You little bitch.
Hey! You little bitch!
You little bitch.
This is fine. Honestly. As for me, isn't it wonderful? This is fine. There is nothing to be done.
Just the worst.
Oh. Do you understand?
What is this?
Yes, indeed. Isn't it wonderful?
hey,
Thrills, chills, kills! Now then, let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What? Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again, in another life.
A lot of people don't like this execution, but it's one of my favorites. Not my favorite, but it's one of them.
what are you gonna do? Too bad. Strange. Hey, hey! What?
So then, you... Hey,
Ooh, how it... Hello. Well? See?
so...
Hey,
Indeed. Hey,
what?
so...
Come on. What? Goodbye.
Well then.
Yo!
Okay.
Shall we go? So then... You... However... What? Indeed. What? It's true. That's fine. Correct.
Want to know why I went, like, I don't remember, if you remember this, but in one of the very first episodes, the first thing I did was go into the boys' bathroom to the storage closet, but it wouldn't let me go in the secret room. And I was like, shit, and I got salty about it. So if you remember that, then that's what I was doing.
Correct.
Yes? Lovey, did you say anything?
Yeah, she played off. Oh, mine's gonna go in there.
Who gives a damn? What'd you say? Like, did you say, well, I asked you not to, so... Either way, I just think it's extremely disrespectful. not who gives a damn. That's extremely disrespectful. She didn't even really get things we needed. I don't think she got a case of water. She didn't get milk. She didn't really get things we needed. She just got snacky food for the girls. No frozen food, only little frozen meals and a bunch of random shit. Okay. Love Marwin. Oh, I remember.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't...
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat. No longer compromise. No longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
Indeed.
I see.
It's true.
You got.
You know?
Well.
According.
However,
How about that? It's not be a.
So.
You got it.
So,
Actually. But the
They're
end
just
is
talking
nigh.
about random shit. It's really nothing important.
Crazy beam came out of nowhere, and as soon as the beam and that's still floating there, one part of it just vanished. You realized it means the burger wasn't 100% beef. It must have had some pork or something mixed in. Something like 70%. You can't trick me. How about? Don't be mean.
Yeah.
of course.
indeed.
Oh my god.
Well,
But.
Alrighty. Alrighty, gamers. Gamer. Jacob Spence. I am outie. Yeah. Doodles, baby.